activity, what will cause entering into hell. So we have to consider those points. Then we can understand these verses, this particular chapter. What is causing to enter into hellish life and how to get out of it. Those both the things we have to understand here. Mother Devoti is not in that condition, but still she asked, she expressed her ignorance and not taking proper association of Kartam Muni. She expressed how I can be delivered from this nescience or ignorance. She asked so many questions on that. So that's why Lord Kapila is describing what will happen for those who are engaging against Shastra and Sadhu and Guru. Mm, so that's why he's describing these particular verses about the hellish life. And this is there, the specific Puran is there, Garuda Puran, where Lord Vishnu is describing to Garuda. Garuda is asking questions, what will happen to those who are performing these adverse activities and where they will go, whether they will cross over Vaitarani river or not, and what exactly happens in these hellish planets, different types of hell, and how exactly things happen. Who are the in charge there? Yamraj, Chitragupta, Sravan, and Brahma's sons are there. So all these are described in Garuda Puran in great detail. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear to some extent brief. So Bhagavatam is not meant to describe so much elaborately, but but it describes so that we get to know what it means. So now we understand the context. Let us read. Yatana Deha. So this is the point. In hellish life, just like in in the earthly planet, we receive the gross body and subtle body covering on the soul, spirit soul. When living entity leaves, spirit soul leaves this body. If at all we performed against Shastra, Sadhu and Guru, then what kind of body he receives? Gross body is done, finished. Subtle body is still there. Mind is in the false ego, carrying the fruitive activities or whatever he has done, pious, impious. On top of it, when he goes to enter into the hellish planets, he will be covered with, instead of gross body, he will be covered with Yatana Deha. So that's why the verse starting with itself, Yatana Deha. There is a karma body, there is a gross body, then there is the Yatana body, like the 3 or 4 Madhvacharya is describing in few places. Prabhupada is quoting in few places as well, this Yatana body. So that's what here hellish planet means. One is receiving Yatana body. It's such that this body, despite giving excruciating pain, excruciating things the living entity will put into, but he cannot die. He or she cannot die. So that's why this body is like that, Yatana body. You will feel the pains, but it won't die. If it is in the gross body in the earthly planet, the person will die. But in the hellish planet, that's not so. So that is the difference between the gross body in the earthly planet and the 14th planet, but the hellish planet, Yatana body, is much different from the other bodies. Yatana deha avrutya, one is covered with this. Yatana avrutyam is covered. Pasair badva gale balat nayato dirgam advanam dandyam raja bhatayata. Raja bhata means the soldiers of the king. Dandya, who is supposed to be punished? These questions are asked in 6th canto as well, between Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas, because are obstructed by Vishnu Dutas in Ajamal's case. They're asking, they went to Yamaraj and asked, who is supposed to be punished? So, because we went to punish these Ajamal who perform sinful activities, but we are obstructed, then who is supposed to be punished? So there Prabhupada elaborates in so many details who is not supposed to be punished. Brahmana is not supposed to be punished, old man not supposed to be punished, woman not supposed to be punished, child is not supposed to be punished. Of course, Vaishnavas are not supposed to be punished, but in today's world, Prabhupada says in Kali Yuga, and if they chant the holy name, if they try to distribute books, they will be punished. They will put into jail and whatnot. This is the nature of Kali Yuga. You can't expect much more than that. And that's what we are dealing with every day, regularly. Yatana deha avrutya pasair badha gale balat nayato dirgham advanam dandyam raja bata yata. Word to word. Yatana, for punishment. Dehe is body. Avrutya, covering. Pasai, with ropes. Because the Yamapatas bind this living entity with ropes before they take it to give them Atana body and take it to the hellish planets. Badva, binding. Gale, by the neck. Balat, by force. Nayata, they lead. Dirgam, long. Advanam, distance, Dandyam, a criminal, Rajabhatha, the king's soldiers, Yata, as, like the king's soldiers take the punished criminal, like that, these Yamabhatas also will take, accept, because no living entity ready to accept the punishment. They may perform, at that time they will not realize it, but once they perform, they are not ready to accept. So, but Yamabhatas will snatch them, forcibly they take them and give the punishment. So, to reform them. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shubhopad Ki Jai. As a criminal is arrested for a punishment by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification is similarly arrested by the Yamadutas, who bind him by the neck with a strong rope and cover his subtle body so that he may undergo severe punishment. And there are rules as per the Manu Samhita, so king supposed to give punishment. But these days, none of them follow those what punishment this they are supposed to give to what kind of activity. That is not followed, then implication will be there even to the king. So because otherwise, people will do all kinds of activities, cheating and stealing, murdering, and so many things against Shastra, but still they get away with it because there is no proper punishment is given. King or prime minister, chief minister, and we see everyday news is filled with all these things because they are not following any authorized scriptures. Brahmanas are not guiding, they are not taking guidance either. What kind of punishment and how to address these problems. But Prabhupada, when came to USA, he was addressing all these things. How police, we can help police, we can help address all these problems of this world, especially in US. He was talking about Tibet also, he gave his solutions on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the business of a devotee, how everything can be addressed by following the Bhagavad Dharma. Repeat the translation. As a criminal is arrested for punishment by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification is similarly arrested by the Yamadutas, who bind him by the neck with strong rope and cover his subtle body so that he may undergo severe punishment. Purport by Prabhupada. Every living entity is covered by a subtle and gross body. The subtle body is covering a mind, ego, and intelligence, and consciousness. Spirit soul has consciousness, so that is going along with these three things because it has impressions like advertisements come in the TV, like that. The mind has this coming to the forefront every day while sleeping, daytime. These things are coming up into the mind that I should do this. Automatically, contemplation is there when you act. So it is said that that's why in third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is stressing that intelligence must be sharpened so that mind will be subdued. If the intelligence is not sharpened every day, we don't hear, we don't read Prabhupada books, there is no way intelligence will be sharpened. There is no way mind can be subdued, and then mind will automatically ready to act against the Shastra and Sadhu and Guru. Whether it's we are initiated, not initiated, whether sannyas, grahastha, doesn't matter. So will be subdued, will not be able to subdue the mind unless the intelligence is fixed. We follow the injunctions of the Sampradaya Acharya. It is said in the scriptures that the constables of the Yamaraja cover the subtle body of the culprit and take him to the abode of Yamaraja to be punished in a way that he is able to tolerate. He does not die from this punishment because if he died, then who would suffer the punishment? So that's why Yatna body is like that. It won't die. It is not the business of the constables of Yamaraj to put one to death. So their only business is to reform. So that's why they carry out these orders on behalf of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is representative of the Lord. On behalf of the Lord, Yamaraj is carrying out. Like superintendent of jail is on behalf of the government. He is supposed to follow and put somebody in jail and reform them and then take them out if they perform properly. So, in fact, it is not possible to kill a living entity because factually he is eternal, the spirit soul. He simply has to suffer the consequences of his activities of sense gratification against Shastra. So, the process of punishment is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Formerly, the king's men would take a criminal in a boat in the middle of the river, dunk him in 3 times. If it is severe, then they may do it completely, but otherwise, then they bring him out so that then he realizes. Nowadays, it's not been done. So They would dunk him by grasping a bunch of his hair and thrusting him completely underwater. When he was almost suffocated, the king's constables would take him out of the water and allow him to breathe for some time, and then they would again dunk him in the water to suffocate. This sort of punishment is inflicted upon the forgotten soul by Yamraj, as will be described in the following verses. Verse number 21. तयोर्निर्भिन्नहृदय तर्जनये जातवे पतुं पति स्वाभिर्भक्ष्यमाना आर्तो agam. Agam means sinful activity, is distressed, of course. At the time of doing it, we will not realize it, but when we go through, then we will realize it's but too late. Swam anusmaran, remembering the things. Translation by Shapopal. While carried by the constables of Yamaraj, he is overwhelmed and trembles in their hands. While passing on the road, he is bitten by the dogs. He can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. In Garuda Puran, these things are described like that. Severe heat, all these Dadas Adityas giving so much heat is there. Snakes are biting, dogs are biting, so much hot sand. But in this with Yatana body, person has to walk. So long. So it's explained everything from almost from the day 1 to day 3, day 4, day 5 till 11th day when the living entity is passed away. How this Penda Pradhan to Lord Vishnu to be performed, otherwise the suffering will be more. So all these things are also described there. Each day, which place he will go, what punishment, all these are described in Garuda Puran. Bhagavatam, we get a glimpse of what these punishments are. Garuda Puran gives full details of all the hells and all the punishments. While carried by the constables of Yamaraj, is overwhelmed and trembled in their hands. These are described so that we avoid knowing these things, then we try not to perform those activities which is against Shastra and Sadhu and Guru. So that's why these are described. But Prabhupada describes in other places in Srimad Bhagavatam, I think it was Canto 6, that why then the knowing, the criminal is already seeing what is happening. He has already gone to the jail also, he has gone through the troubles, he came out, again he is doing. What is that causing? Parikshit Maharaj is asking these questions. So Gurudeva Goswami is answering, and Sri Prabhupada also answering in the letters and purports that it is only the seed of this proclivities or fruit adverse activities is there in the heart, that is not removed. He may perform austerity, he may commit, he may punished. That means he has done atonement, kind of, but still is doing again and again. So reason is the seed in the heart is not fried, burned out. That seed can only be burned not by tapa, not by karma yoga, gnana yoga, astanga. Only it can be done by Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Paran Agam Dhunvanti Karsen Neharam Evast. Otherwise, there is no possibility to take out the seed of this unwanted activities against Shastra and Sadhana. It cannot be taken out unless one practices this pure devotion service under the guidance and trained by the pure devotee. Then only it is possible. Otherwise, we will have the same similar thoughts and ideas, and we won't be able to give up for regular anything, you name it. Against Shastra, we won't be able to do it. If we are not properly trained by the strength and mercy of them, then we will be able to give up. The seed will be burned or fried out in the heart. That is Kutam Bijam Phalonmukam is mentioned, that Bija is nothing but the seed to perform activities against Sadhu and Shastra and Guru. Culprit arrested by the Yamaraj constables meet many dogs which bark and bite just to remind him of his criminal activities of sense gratification. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one becomes almost blind and is bereft of all sense when he is infuriated by desire for sense gratification. Arjuna is asking this question. So, and Lord is describing what is that? I am forced to engage because seed is not taken out, not fried out. So then Lord is describing Kama Yesha Krodhe Rajoguna Samudva Mahasana Mahapapma Buddhi Enam Hivarinam. This is the greatest enemy. Immediately curb this sinful activity, lust, anger, greed. Three Vidam Narakasyadam Nasanam Atmanaha. It is destroying you. This lust, anger, greed are three gates to hell. So lust means which is against Shastra and Sadhu and Guru. Anything we do is called lust. Otherwise, if it is done towards the Lord, then it is love. It is completely opposite. He forgets everything. Kama is there, Hritak Gnana. His knowledge has been taken away. So that's why we need lots of association, lots of service, lots of hearing, lots of chanting. If you want to purify the actual seed in the heart, otherwise it's not possible. In second canto, first canto, second chapter, Divinity and Divine Service, immediately the address the solutions. The last verse of that is 1 to 21. Last verse, 10 steps in attaining pure devotional service. Their last verse is telling, Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. This hard knot in the heart is the seed against performing activities not pleasing to the Lord, or anarthas you can call. So it is so hard to remove that, but it is possible only if we take shelter. That's the starting point says, Susurusho Shabdadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi. So then we have to reflect on our life. Are we associating with those advanced devotees? When they come, are we ready to take association? Are we ready to serve them? Are we ready to listen attentively? Shastra is clearly telling, Susrusho Shatadhanasya Vasudeva Katarasyan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatebda Nishevana. If that is not there, then how we can expect that anarthas will be removed? How we can expect that the seed in the heart is removed? We can't expect it. Shastra is clearly telling the first step is that Susrusho means we must serve attentively, respectfully, obediently to those pure devotees when they walk in. So this is what. And our temple is providing all these opportunities. His Holiness Aladar Swami Maharaj is coming, His own Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is coming, and so many are coming regularly. And then what do we do about it? We should attentively hear, we should take the association, and we should understand what Prabhupada is trying to tell us. Then we can actually remove this seed in the heart. Otherwise, it's absolutely we can't. We don't take the association. Yes, family life, we are busy, so many activities are there. But Shastra is telling that, yes, you can do that, but the priority has to be given. When these advanced devotees, they don't come every day. They're not there. So then when they come, we have to somehow or other make it a point to be there. As much as possible. Emergency, we can understand. Exception, we can understand. This is the opportunity, golden opportunity. Golden opportunity. They are ready to sacrifice their life. They are walking in to give us their blessing, give their mercy, and share whatever they have learned from Srila Prabhupada and their spiritual masters. And our opportunity is to take association here in person, as much as in person. If you have some other work, then okay to be online. But ideally, we should be in person as much as possible. So if not possible, it's okay. But that is the point here. Then only we can remove this. Seed in the heart cannot be removed so easily. Vidyate hridaya gandhe chidyante sarvadam kshiyante chastyam drushta evatmaneswari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is elaborate describing on that point. It's very difficult. If step 1 is not done, you can't come to step 10, completely pure, removing all the knots in the heart of so many different activities of anarthas. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the one who opened floodgates and describing every possible anartha what we are going through. But who has time to understand? Prabhupada is elaborately describing in the purports what these anarthas are, especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita, much more elaborately than anywhere else you can find. But who has time to read? Who has time to hear? So that's what we have to consider now, how we should balance our life to hear and read. And then we can understand everything, what we should do and what we should not do. Then we can rectify everything. Here the chance of renouncing, recounting his activities of sense gratification is given by the dogs engaged by Yamraj. While we live in the gross body, such activities of sense gratification are encouraged even by modern government regulations. So that is the irony of today's situation. In every state all over the world, such activities are encouraged by the government in the form of birth control and cow killing. Even in India, it is still there. It is happening. It is still happening. It just so worse, but so still nothing can be done. To some extent they are doing, but so much to be done. And this is Kali Yuga we are in. Women are supplied pills and they are allowed to go to the clinical laboratory to get assistance for abortions. This is going on as a result of sense gratification. Actually, sex life is meant for begetting a good child. But because people have no control over the senses and there is no institution to train them to control the senses. So that's why we were discussing earlier, previous class also. Tongue is supposed to control. How do you control it then? If you can't control the eating habits and chant the holy name, there is nothing else you can control in the life. It's not possible. Vacho Vegam Manaso, it is very clearly defining it. If we don't chant the holy names enough, as Palyan Ekadasi means, we are supposed to wake up and chant. Whether we like it or not like it. No excuses. No, I didn't sleep yesterday. I had production support. Yes, that may be there. When it is dear to the Lord Hari Vasara, then we are meant to wake up and chant. Doesn't matter what body is giving this and that. Otherwise, we are losing one more life, another life. We have to continue this. So we have to understand the seriousness what Prabhupada is stressing and take it up immediately without questioning this or that. But because people have no control, yeah, the poor fellows fall victim to the criminal offenses of sense gratification because that is a violation. Otherwise, unknowingly doing one thing, but after knowing repeatedly, been instructed, still we do it, then it's a problem. Unknowingly, people may do, okay, that's at least some extent forgiven, but knowingly, if we do it, then it's not good. And they are punished after death, as described in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. One more verse is there. So, 22. These descriptions are there for us to rectify. We all have shortcomings. None of us are pure devotees like Haridas Thakur, but it is for us to be aware and cognizant and then rectify it. Be under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and the disciples and follow it through scrutinizingly, as much or best of capacity. So follow their instructions. Shutrut parito arka dava dava nala anilai. It is mentioned burning heat. Santapyamana pati tapta valuke krichrena pruste kashaya cha taditas chalati asakto api nira ashrama udake. Translation by Shapopal. We can't blame that Lord. If Lord is so, he is Supreme Father, why is he giving us pain? Why is he sending us to hell? Yeah, we decided. Lord didn't decide. We decided to do these activities, despite he clearly telling us not to do it repeatedly. Just like Father tells, don't put your finger into the fire, finger into the fan. But again, still he does that. Okay, so let him do. And then once he realizes, once he puts, he feels it, then he will not do again. So same thing here. Lord is trying his best to give us the directions through Guru, through Sadhu, through so many different ways. He doesn't want us to suffer. But when we do it again, then some suffering has to be given, punishment. So otherwise we'll never realize. He wants us to come back to Godhead. So that's why he has to give us these things also as well, punishment. So that we can be reformed. Under the scorching sun, the criminal has to pass through the roads of hot sand with forest fires on both sides. He is whipped on the back by the constables because of his inability to walk and is afflicted by hunger and thirst. But unfortunately, there is no drinking water, no shelter, no place for the rest on the road. Imagine what a condition that is. But that's what one has to go through if they don't follow before. So many people think that no hell, life at the end, you beg, borrow, steal, and you enjoy nicely till your last breath. There is nothing beyond. So this life, but Shastra is clearly telling here that what is there, what is waiting for one who is not following, what is waiting at the end of life. So that's why we perform this Pinda Pradhan, especially the ones, fathers, grandfathers who are passed away. For them, what is the best thing to do is Go Seva, which is serving the cows, serving the Vaishnavas in the holy places or in any temple, anywhere. So this is the best thing one can do to deliver their forefathers from the sinful activity, from their hellish condition. One has to feed the cows, one has to feed the Vaishnavas, one should serve the Lord. Then that is the best way. Better than any other thing we may do. Ordinary charity, ordinary penances, all those will not work. This is the best thing one should do. Under the scorching sun, the criminal has to pass through the roads of the hot sand with forest fires on both sides. He is whipped on the back by the constables because of his inability to walk and is afflicted by hunger and thirst. But unfortunately, there is no drinking water, no shelter, and no place for the rest on the road. So let us pray and we'll try to understand. Not much time left. ओमध्यानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। We have been addressed to take the shelter of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada is calling out because we are so downtrodden, so many inefficiencies we have. So that's why we take their shelter so that we can come up to the speed, their expectation of Guru and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavan ki jai. So this is the problem statement. Three gates to hell: lust, anger, greed. Where it is happening, the intense desire is there. So Aneka Chitta Vibhranta Mohajala Samavata. Patanti Narake Asucho, unclean habits. So that's why we have to take twice a bath minimum. So cut the nails, all these clean habits externally we should have. Then internally we can expect. Prabhupada is clearly laid out. That's why he has kept all this process for everybody to follow through. It means for us, everybody. No keeping the beard doesn't matter unless you got a direct instruction from your guru. No keeping it. Prabhupada is instructed for everybody. Is meant not just exclusively only some devotees. Meant for everybody. That means we cannot keep it. So everything we have to follow strictly. That cleanliness. Otherwise, unclean habits means unclean heart. Unwanted thoughts will be there automatically. So we should take to that account. So Krishna Sangha Samabhava, that is Rajo Ragatmikam Vidhi. The passion and ignorance is the one which is causing unlimited longing desires to enjoy this way, that way. So many things: the car, the jewelry, the clothes, so many things, cell phone, whatnot, Facebook, internet, news, you name it. These are all coming under the same things. Anything against Shastra and Sadhu and Guru means all this coming on the same bucket. So some are severe, some are at the less degree, but these we have to consider it and then reduce, minimize it, and bring it to zero of those kama karma. So throughout this from chapter 3 onward, all the way from 16, 17, 14 onward, it's even more explicitly Lord is telling, because otherwise how we are supposed to be detached from this world? While living in this world, how we can become detached? If we don't follow the instruction from chapter 14, Lord is describing how these three modes, Nidra, Alasya, we can't give up sleep. Then how we are any possibility to get to come to pure devotion is not possible. Because we can't give up the ignorance while practicing devotion service. How it is possible? It's not possible. Nidra, Alasyam, Pramada, illusion is there still. So that's why these habits has to be cultivated. If you are in the association, if you follow Prabhupada's process as it is, then we can cultivate it, as simple as that. If your heart is simple, if you're complicated, then so only Lord can decide what will be the result of that. So that's why we have to read Bhagavad Gita regularly and hear and then follow the solution. Same solution is given in Srimad Bhagavatam elaborately and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Association is the first and foremost key. Advanced devotee association repeatedly called out. That is the beginning, and that is even when you go to the spiritual world also, that is the main key thing, important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling out to Sanatana Goswami. Multiple times he's repeating in the same aspect of taking an association, advanced devotees, and then hearing, and then chanting. These three things are prominent. Then worshipping the deity is there also, so that we can develop attachment and develop detachment. These are the more prominent, and then services also has to be done. So if we follow these things regularly and daily, more on Ekadasi, more on Janmashtami, more on Balram Jayanti, then our lives can be perfected, this life itself, and go back home, back to Godhead. Then we don't need to go through this suffering, what is being described here by Lord Kapila. We'll stop here, already we are late. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Bhakta. Happy Ekadasi.
Thank you very much, Krishnananda. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. We would like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma, Pringam. Ugraveeram Mahavishnu
Ugraveeram
Sarvatomukam
Vishnu
Narsingam
Bharatam
Bhisham
Sarvam
Bhadram Nityam Nityam
Narsimham Vishnu
Namiham Narsingh
Bharatam
Bhagwan ki Jai Prahlad
Nami
Maharaj ki Jai.
Ki Jai. Jai.
Let's offer our obeisances to all the assembled devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhascha
One
kripa sindhu
Kalpataru
patitanam
Vashya
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Patitanam
namo
Pavane
namaha.
Vaishnavya
Ki Jai.
Vaishnavinda ki Jai,
Vaishnavya
Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai
Jai, Srila
Ki
Prabhupada
Jai
ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Quick announcement, today is Ekadasi, Kamika Ekadasi. Minimally fasting from grains and beans and increasing our Krishna consciousness. There will be Ekadasi Kirtan in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Also, that reminds us today is Jai Prakash Prabhu's birthday, so let's wish him happy birthday.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Happy
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Conscious
Hare
Birthday.
Bol,
Hare
Happy
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
birthday, Haribo.
The breaking fast time, Parna time tomorrow is short, 5:53 to 6:01, 8 minutes. So make sure you break your fast in that time to get the maximum benefit of fasting today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Bol.
Happy Krishna Conscious Birthday, Jai Prakash Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Bol. Hare
Happy Krishna conscious birthday, Prabhuji. Hare